Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Nathan, and today I'm going to do a anti-haul of either some things that I've bought before and I wouldn't buy them again, or just things I honestly would never buy to begin with. So this video is kind of inspired by one I just watched like an hour ago called Things Influencers Could Never Convince Me to Buy. This is by YouTuber Haley Ray. I'm going to link her video down below. I've never seen any of her videos before, so I'm not a subscriber of hers. But after seeing it, it makes me want to see more of her videos. So shout out to her for kind of like, I don't know, maybe influencing me to do one of these. But to be honest, I've kind of always wanted to do sort of an anti-haul. I've just always felt like, I don't know, when should I do this? So I also do in the future want to make a video of things I have bought that I would buy again. This may surprise you, but there are still some products out there that I think are being built by companies that actually give a crap. I was about to say a harsher word.
This former president.
But by people and teams and companies who actually care about the customer. I just think it's harder to find these days. And of course, I am a small YouTuber, so I've never had a sponsorship. So the first thing that I am not going to buy ever is the random Ninja stuff that the Ninja company is putting out now. Like, you probably know them for their blenders, but there's also the Ninja Creamy. Recently, when I went on Amazon to buy like refillable Keurig K-cups, I saw an ad for, I guess it's like a soft serve thing now, and it kind of reminds me of that Pebble ice machine. I don't even know who makes it, but like that one Pebble ice machine that's like $500 or something. After using ice from it, I can see why people like it, but I don't think it makes enough ice to make it useful for like a real family, to be honest. And these Ninja things, they're so random, and it's kind of like reminds me of like the air fryer trend. I feel like there's just these smaller appliances that are becoming trendy now, and they're just going to take up so much of your counter space. And there is one of the Ninja things that I have used before, which I thought was actually useful. I don't know what it's called, but you put in like these flavor pods. It's kind of like a more advanced soda stream, if you know what that is. It just allows you to make soda at home by mixing your own flavors, or like flavors that you can't usually buy at a store. So that I thought was useful, that I have used at my parents' house, and that was useful. I thought it worked good, and we did actually have like space for it. But the other stuff that Ninja sells, like, how often are you actually going to be making homemade ice cream, to be honest? Or like just with the creamy or the soft serve. So number 2 is trendy shoes. I know I've talked about this a little bit in my video on why I don't do hauls anymore, but I had the high top Nike sneakers, and they are so uncomfortable. I don't care if like it's like, oh, it takes a month to break it in. I know they're uncomfortable to wear, but there's just so many trendy shoes these days. How many shoes do you need? I have multiple pairs of shoes. I have 2 pairs of Vans, 1 pair of Adidas, and 1 pair of Vessi shoes, and I only wear the Vessi shoes. Like, I love how comfortable Vans are, and I like that they're kind of more affordable than some other shoes out there, but I don't use any of my other shoes. So I don't know if people like actually want to buy shoes secondhand. Maybe I should look at that, because like I really don't use them at all. So for me to buy trendy shoes, it doesn't make sense, since there's just like one kind of shoe I really like now that I have this pair of Vessis. But also, like, I don't know, shoes are just so expensive. Number 3 of things I'm not going to buy, again, would have to be Shein and Temu. So I don't think I've ever bought from Shein, actually. There was a time in 2019 when I went to pretty much like my first ever concert, and I bought clothes off this store called Romwe. You may not know who they are, but apparently they were popping off in 2019. And both the pants and shirt I bought from Romwe were in Shein bags. So technically I've worn Shein clothing before. I just didn't even know it came from Shein. They weren't great quality, but I still kept them for as long as I could wear them. And I have bought from Temu before. That was when I reviewed it like 2 years ago. they did this big Super Bowl like campaign, and I'm sure they did one this year too. I just didn't watch the Super Bowl, so I don't know. But I was like, I've never heard of this company before. Let me buy it. Let me review it. I'm not sure what I eventually came to the conclusion in that video, but from what I remember, only one of those products I still use, and it's still not that great. It's just because since I actually have a use for it, I'm not going to throw it away, but I still like wouldn't buy from Temu again just because there's a lot of sustainability stuff that they don't do. You may argue, well, every company does some unethical stuff, and yeah, that's true. But that still doesn't mean you shouldn't try to do your best. Number 4 of things I'm not ever gonna buy, this I've never bought before, but the Bloom grains, they now have canned drinks. I'm not sure if they're energy drinks or not, they probably are. But just, I've heard that it sounds disgusting, and considering the price, I'm not ever gonna buy it. Like, literally, I know this may be hard for some people, but it's cheaper to buy the vegetables and just eat it. This may sound really weird, but I feel like vegetables these days, like no one cares about them.
Get your up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
Like, eat your carrots, eat your broccoli, eat your bell pepper, eat your mushrooms, eat your zucchini, eat your cucumber. Did I already say cucumber? I don't know. Buy vegetables and then eat it, like for a snack, side for your lunch or dinner. Some people eat vegetables for breakfast. I was traveling somewhere and that was a normal thing, and I had never done that before. I don't know, are potatoes considered vegetables? Because I've had that for breakfast. But like, there was other vegetables that like I had never had with breakfast before, and it was honestly good. But like, just eat your vegetables. Just eat your fruit. Like, why are you paying so much money for this powdered stuff that I've heard doesn't taste good? Personally, I've never tried it before, so it may taste good to me. I've just never tried it. I have tasted kind of a similar product from another company that I didn't buy. It was something that my relative had, and that I thought it tasted good. It didn't even have sugar. I thought it tasted good, but because that was expensive, it's like, I'm not gonna buy that for myself either. Pretty much the only supplements I take are creatine and protein powder, which protein powder I don't even do every day, because if I hit my protein goal, it's like, okay. Number 5, which is kind of on the same idea as this, but just like meal plans, like HelloFresh, Blue Apron, that sort of stuff. And here's the thing, I've had Blue Apron before, that was really good. I've had HelloFresh before, that was really good. And the thing is that for me, financially, it doesn't make sense since I live alone. It would be more expensive than it has to be. Like right now, I go primarily just to Trader Joe's. I buy stuff that I can get like 1 or 2 other meals out of, and that'll be my dinner for either the day after or the next 2 days, and I'll be set. But with things like meal plans, even though it'll be like, it's this per serving, it'll sound cheap in theory, and then it'll still be more expensive than what I've found of like actually just finding the stuff at the grocery store. Orange chicken from Trader Joe's and like a bag of broccoli from Trader Joe's that you can split into multiple meals, like that is so much cheaper than HelloFresh or Blue Apron. So I just do grocery shopping myself, and I find it to be cheaper. Number 6, kind of moving on to technology a little bit, would have to be a Windows laptop. So my first ever laptop was Windows, and that I thought actually worked pretty well. It was a Lenovo laptop. It had like 256 gigabytes of storage, 8 gigabytes of memory, and it had decent battery life. Oh, it had an AMD Ryzen 5. So that worked pretty well. It's only when I wanted to get more serious into video editing that I bought my current MacBook Air for $800, so I got it refurbished. I realized like why people love Macs, like MacBooks specifically, so much. Like, the battery life was great, even better than before. The performance with the M series of chips is so big. Like, I've edited 4K videos on my laptop before, and I've been fine. I only have the base stuff. The only thing that I've done to it kind of would be like getting an external solid state drive for video editing. The only thing I would do to it in the future would probably be to like replace the battery, just because I've had it for like almost 3 years now, and so it probably would like a new battery. I've literally dropped a mug on the outside lid when it was closed and the screen is fine. But the reason I bring up why I'm not buying a Windows laptop again is because of my most recent laptop purchase, which is an MSI. I don't even know what it's called. I'll put up the name of it here. But bad battery life, pretty slow unless I want the fans running, which when I'm in class, I feel like everyone else can hear it, and I don't want to be that person that it sounds like you're launching a spaceship. Only when it's in its high performance mode, it's usable, but then I feel like I have to plug it in because the battery drains so much. The only thing I like about it is that the screen brightness, it can get pretty bright, and it has 120 hertz refresh rate, and it has a touchscreen, which is useful. But because it's one of those 2-in-1s, the screen isn't that stable, so when you tap it, it kind of like moves a little bit. I don't know the next time I'll purchase a laptop. It probably won't be for at least another like 2 years or something, unless something happens to my MacBook Air or my MSI. But I just know I'm not buying Windows again. The next thing I would never buy, which, sorry Apple, I know I just praised your MacBook Air from 2020, the M1 MacBook Air, but I'm never buying AirPods Max unless they go down in price. So I've had my current headphones for 4 years, pretty much at this point. I got them for Christmas in 2020. They're Sony headphones. They're great. I think my brother actually got a pair too, either for himself or like a gift from someone. And yeah, my headphones, the battery life is still great. Like with headphones, really, I think it might be technically impossible for like the sound quality to get worse. The only thing that would get worse over time, which happens with every battery, would be the battery life. But for me, the battery life has stayed great. And the thing with AirPods Max is that they're so expensive. They're so heavy. I don't understand how people like go to the gym with them on, especially if you're doing cardio. I feel like my head would be hurting with them on. And I use like little Beats earbuds at the gym, which work very well for me. Like my headphones are fine. And the next time I need to buy over-ear headphones, which probably won't be for another few years, I think I'm just going to go back to Sony as long as they stay around like $300 or $350. Because the AirPods Max, I think it's like $550. Like the only thing I care about really is battery life and sound quality. And I've tried them. The sound quality, great. Noise cancellation, great. But they only have 20 hours of battery life, which considering how heavy they are, doesn't make sense. But AirPods Max, I feel like I'd be having to charge them so often that it would just get annoying. Especially since you need to put them in the case to turn it off. Like that's genuinely the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Probably the stupidest thing Apple's ever done, besides putting their charger on the bottom of the mouse. So the last thing I would never buy would be like insane skincare stuff, which I know I've kind of had a long skincare routine already, which is like multiple serums, moisturizer, and toner. And also, I'm doing a month without skincare, so that'll be a future video. For February, I haven't put on a single thing of skincare on my face, so I'm doing some comparison photos, and I'm going to be talking about what I've learned through this month. So if you want to see that, subscribe, stick around, and that'll be a future video in the next few weeks, probably like in the next month. I've deleted TikTok and I don't have Instagram, so I haven't seen this recently, but I like watching a lot of YouTube videos, and naturally some of the commentary channels I follow do like videos on insane TikTok stuff. And I've seen some of the insane TikTok skincare people are doing, like wrapping their head like they just had some sort of surgery. Insane. Putting like lip tape or mouth tape over their lips when they're sleeping. I feel like that's genuinely dangerous. Because what if there's something that ends up blocking your nose and you just can't breathe? Like, I would hope you wake up and then you just take it off so that you can keep breathing. But what if that doesn't happen? Like, what do you need to be doing this much. There's only so much you can do before you get like not that great of a return on investment. Like, you don't want your skin to be ashy. I've noticed from me not doing skincare for a month that my face skin has been drier. Like, I've continued like moisturizing my arms and stuff, but on my face has gotten drier. There is stuff that skincare can be generally useful for, but all this extra stuff that ends up just being wasteful in the end because it doesn't really do much for you, it's like there's no point in it. But this is something Haley mentioned in her video, which again, linked down below if you want to watch it. But just like the disposable face wipes, it makes no sense to me. Like, you're buying a pack of face wipes that you can throw away and you're using them daily. What I do, I just have a few towels that I only use on my face. It's wasteful and you don't need it. What I don't like about it is because it's compostable, which if you have a compost bin, then that's great. But I feel like most people don't. Like, considering it's a selling point, like when it can say recycle me, how many people are actually recycling it? Also, with metal cans, it turns out they're not really recyclable because there's still like a thin sheet of plastic on the inside so that your drink doesn't have a metallic taste. I just learned this like a few months ago, but it's insane. So I feel like with companies putting it's compostable or it's recyclable, they're putting the responsibility onto us, when before it's like you never had to invent this disposable thing to begin with. Like, obviously we can still do our best, but at the end of the day, these companies need to be doing their share too. Just even creating this product in the first place isn't really helping us. I don't care if it's recyclable. I don't care that it's compostable if it didn't need to exist in the first place. That is my little rant on things I'm not going to buy, or things I've bought before that I'm not ever going to buy again. If you want to see a video of things I have bought before and I think are genuinely great, stick around for that. I will be making that in the future. It's just not going to be sponsored, and I'm also not going to have links in the description because I don't want making it easier for people to buy things that they don't need. Like, even though I think they're great products, you may not need them. So I'm going to make it harder for you to buy them. Anyways, I hope you all have had a good day. See you guys in the next video. Bye.